Hey everyone, welcome back to another HitFilm tutorial. This week we welcome for the first time to our channel, Red Alert. He's a well-known community member, and today he's going to be showing you how to create a cool pop-up text message effect in HitFilm Express. Let's get started.
Let's talk about texting in film. Cell phones, telephones, phone booths, they've all been really popular in film for obvious reasons. A phone call can be ominous, threatening, scary, comedic, and overall a whole batch of emotions because we always hear the other side of the phone call. Texting on the other hand, well, it's kind of boring, and that's why it's never been popular in movies. That is, until the last few years, of course.
What was that? Text.
Texting, or rather the texting effect, has exploded in movies and TV within the last few years. So what changed? Well, it stands to reason that phone calls are so popular because we can hear what is happening. Therefore, we can see what's happening. So, to make texting as effective, people must have reasoned with themselves and thought, why not throw those texts onto the screen in a big bold fashion rather than show it on a tiny pixelated mobile cell phone screen? It makes sense. I know. My name is Uwais from Red Alert, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to create modern, sleek, stylish, and glossy pop-up text messages using HitFilm Express. Without further ado, let's get going. Okay, here we are in HitFilm Express, and as you can see I have my footage all ready to go in the media panel. So let's start with building out the text message. I'm first going to go over the simple and elegant looking text message as seen in shows like Sherlock, and then after that we'll jump into the modern candy button looking messages as seen in, well, everything else. Right, let's begin by clicking the plus icon at the top over here and then select new composition. Make sure the settings are the same as your footage and then hit OK. Let's drag our footage into the timeline. Then let's head up and select the text tool. I'll draw a relatively small box in the shape of a rectangle. Let's click inside the box and then type out the name of the person this text is coming from. After that, let's hit the spacebar and then type out 2 forward slashes. Press the spacebar once again and then type out the time you want this message to be received at. This is a very common style used in various films and TV shows, but feel free to play around with this and create your own design. The possibilities are endless. We can then go ahead and type out the main message. So press enter and we'll just type out, "This message looks stylish." Right? Yep, that looks good. Okay, let's select the text and then scale it up until we're happy with it. I'm going to leave it here at this size so it's not bigger than the actual phone but not too small at the same time. We can then select the first line of text and scale it down so that it's at least half the size of our main message. Righto, time for the fun part. A big part of why this effect looks so good is because it fits directly in the scene, and part of that is matching its perspective to the phone's. So how do we do that? Well, fret not my friends, I'm going to show you. First, we'll click this box with a check pattern on our text layer and switch it to a 3D layer. This will automatically create a new camera, which we're happy with. Let's open our text layer's controls panel and then hop down to the Y rotation controls. Here we can play with the setting until we twist that text to match the angle of the phone. This looks good to me. To be more precise, I'll place the text right above the phone and zoom in. Upon further examination, it appears the Z rotation needs some tweaking as well. So let's do that. We can also adjust the position controls to have it sitting in the correct place in Z space. And we now have it matching the phone's perspective. This will be different for you and your shot based on how you shot your footage, and my numbers won't be the same as yours, but follow the same steps and it'll all be good to go. After that, we can finalize its position by placing it just above the phone along one of the sides. Finally, to transition it in, let's head to the point where we want our text message to appear. Mine is when the phone lights up. At this point, set the opacity of the text layer to 0 and turn on keyframing for it. We can then head forward about 10 frames and turn it back up to 100%. This has the text fading in nicely. One more addition to that, select the keyframes we just made and convert them to smooth keyframes. This provides a smoother and nicer looking animation overall. After all of that, this shot looks done. And it kind of is. Except for, well, let's call it a final touch to pull it all together. And that is to blend the depth of field. Now this is a stylized extra, but it can look really cool and it does a lot for the final effect. To do this, let's right click on our text layer and make it into a composite shot. In that new composite shot, click the plus icon and create a grade layer. Then head over to the effects panel and search for the blur effect and then drop it onto that grade layer. For the settings, set the amount to 2 and the iterations to 1. We don't want this blur to take up the whole text though, so to restrict it to the middle of the text, let's choose the ellipse mask tool and then draw a small mask over the middle of the text on the grade layer. We can then expand the mask settings and change some stuff up. Set the expansion to 35 as well as the feather to 135. Let's jump back to our main comp and there we have it, a finished, stylized text message blended into the shot nicely. Moving on, let's get to work on the next method. Now this one is a bit more stylized, not complicated, but there are a few more steps required to make it work. The first thing we'll do is create a brand new composition with the same settings as our footage, just like before. I'll then drag in my clip. As you can see, this was shot with the purpose of adding in a text bubble afterwards, so there's enough space for it over here and it's framed properly. It's always important to plan out your shots to suit the VFX you'll be adding in later before you actually hit record. Anyway, let's get to work on that text bubble we were talking about. Let's click the plus icon down here to create a new plane. For this one, I'll make it blue, but remember guys, the color is ultimately up to you. Hey, that rhymed. Select the rectangular mask tool and draw a nicely sized box in the space next to your actor or phone. Let's then duplicate that plane and delete the mask from the duplicate. We can turn it off for now. I'll select the freehand mask tool, and what we want to do essentially with our duplicate plane selected is draw a triangle in the corner of the first box that faces the direction of the phone. Kinda like this. With that done, let's turn the plane back on and select both of them and then make it into a composite shot. Let's head back to our previous messages comp and copy the text layer. We can then move to our newly made comp and paste it in there. It's okay if it turns back to a 2D layer since we won't need any of the position info that we created in the first example. Move that new text over our bubble roughly into place. And then, with the text tool selected, let's scale up our main message until it fills up the bubble nicely. We can also adjust the size of the first line to make it fit. Again, we want to make it smaller than the main message. Okay, time to animate. Let's select the rectangle mask tool as well as our text layer and then draw a long rectangle to the left of our first line of text. It's important to make this mask only as wide as the first line so that it doesn't end up affecting the second one. With that done, let's move to the start of the comp and then advance 5 frames. We'll use these frames later on for animating the entire bubble, so don't worry about that right now. At frame 5, let's expand the mask properties and turn on keyframing for the mask position. So here's how this works. Every one frame, we're going to advance the mask by 1 letter, like this. Then we'll head forward another frame and move the mask to the right again until it exposes the next letter. Then we'll repeat that again and again until we get to the end of the first word. At the end of the first word, we'll advance 2 frames, one for the spacebar of course, and then move the mask over the next letter. And from there, it's just a repetition of those steps. Move 1 frame forward, move the mask to reveal a new letter, when the word is over, skip 2 frames and then reveal the next letter. Do this for the whole line. When we reach the end of the first line, let's draw another mask exactly the same as before, but this time for our second line of text. We'll then turn on keyframing for the new mask position and move forward 2 frames. Then advance the mask to reveal a single letter. This is the basic principle and we want to do this for all our sentences, so I'll do that for the rest of my message. Okay, all done. A final touch for the text. Let's reveal all those keyframes that we just made. Then select all of them and click this icon over here to turn those keyframes from linear to constant. This means that they appear without any animation, exactly how text do on a normal phone. Do this for all your different masks keyframes. Looking good. Before we hop back to our main comp, let's do one more final touch with the bubble. That is to turn both our plane's opacity down to 65%. Just expand the controls and lower the opacity down. Simple as that. Back in the footage comp, we'll now see our text message all done, but it doesn't animate in. it just appears. So let's fix that. Remember those 5 frames we left in the other comp? Well, it's time to use them. Let's move our text bubble layer along the timeline until we want it to start. Once there, let's expand the controls for our text bubble and move the anchor point so that it's placed on the tip. Turn on keyframing for the scale and set it to 0. Advance those 5 frames and then boost it back up to 100. Remember to turn on motion blur, and there we have it guys, a finished text message. Right, before we wrap this up, there is one more thing I want to cover, tracking. While this looks good, a neat little thing you can do is to have the message tracked to the phone. Now this works in 2 different cases. The first is what we showed at the start of the tutorial, where we have the message attached to the phone as we pan across it. This works with most camera movements. And the second case is to have it tracked to the phone's subtle motions, like when someone is just typing. This provides yet another layer of detail since the bubble will adopt any of the phone's subtle movements and as a result will be even more convincing. Anyway, both of those cases use exactly the same methods, but for now we'll be doing the latter example. To get started, let's click the plus icon once again and create a point layer. This will be used later on to store the tracking data we create. Speaking of tracking data, with our footage layer selected, move to the control panel and click on the plus icon next to tracker. This will open up a new window with our footage in it as well as a handy tracking box. Grab inside of the red square and position the tracking box over a contrast heavy part of your phone. I'm going to use the black logo at the back of the phone. Resize the 2 boxes to fit and then hit track forward. If you need to adjust it along the way, just do so and then go frame by frame using the tracking controls until you get your track back on track. Wow, that was a bad joke. Right, my track is completed, so in the tracking window, let's select our point layer and then hit apply. We now have all that data stored in the point. Let's switch back to the viewer tab, and all that's left to do is to parent our text bubble to our point layer. That's done easily enough by clicking this box on our text bubble layer and then simply selecting the point layer. And voila, we now have our text bubble animating in as well as sticking to all the phone's subtle movements. It's cool, I know. Remember guys, exactly the same steps apply if you want to use this in a shot that's panning past the phone or using any similar camera movements. Anyway, that's my time. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and I hope that you learned something valuable along the way. So go make some text bubbles and I'll see you around.
Thanks for watching guys. If you enjoyed, please subscribe and hit that bell icon to be notified about all our new content. We upload weekly filmmaking and visual effects tutorials, so don't miss out. I'll see you all in the next video.